Yeah, it still doesn't lose.
Yep.
The deck's really good.
Certainly seems like it.
There's definitely the tools to beat it now, but there just isn't really, the same kind of incentive to beat it. It's not like, oh, there's tempered steel and then there's tempered steel. Like, this is the format.
Yeah.
It's like, well, there's tempered steel, but you also got to beat Primeval Titan, and you also got to beat Splinter Twin, and then you also have to fight, these Callblade decks or whatever.
Yeah, they're still red decks.
Yeah.
And as we saw, like, both players were just very heavily prepared for those matchups. You know, like playing all the Firewalkers, like Purges, Flash Freezes, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Spell Skites.
Oh, yeah. I think the Tempered Steel match we saw earlier, I think it was Valakut versus Tempered Steel. Ali Antrazi was playing against BJ Bresler.
Okay.
That one was, the Valakut deck was pretty good against Tempered Steel when they didn't have their really aggressive starts, but, Valakut typically dismantles anything that doesn't have its nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if Valakut has a bunch of Nature's Claims for their Splinter Twin hate, then they're not so bad necessarily against Tempered Steel. They have some cards, but...
They probably have room for, like, a Creeping Corrosion or two, and, like, they have Slag Storms already.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It seems like if they're playing, like, Combust and, like, Beast Withins and stuff, like, pretty slow.
Yeah.
Like, a bunch of dead cards. You really need to have, like, very broad sideboard cards in this format. I think there's so many different decks.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good thing, but there are. There's a lot of different decks.
Is that a good thing? I don't know. I think it's arguable. I think most people would agree that it is a good thing, but and I'm just mostly playing devil's advocate here. But
yeah, I think it's only a bad thing if all the decks are just these really linear, non-interactive decks, where it's just like, well, in order to beat you, I have to board 1,000,000 hate cards for you, but I can't board 1,000,000 hate cards for you and you and you and you. It's like, well, the format's like Dredge and Affinity and Goblins, and those are the decks. So if I'm going to play anything, I've got to have my sideboard be like 7 Engineer Plagues, 7 Katakis, and 15 Leyline of the Voids, otherwise I'm dead. Yeah, those formats aren't good, but the matchups are actually interactive in this format. Like, there's a lot of incidental cards that are good. Like, the Valakut decks can be disrupted by creature removal on their smaller guys and, mana leaks and stuff. The Tempered Steel deck's the only deck that really has that sort of, like...
They don't give you a whole lot of time to interact with them, so...
The Tempered Steel deck's the only really super linear deck in the format. Like maybe Mono Red, but, Mono Red is Mono Red.
Yeah, it seems like people are very prepared for that, so...
People understand what to do against Mono Red. I'm going to play Obstinate Bailoff, I'm going to play Core Firewalker. We made that one easy.
Yep.
It's right there on the platter. The card says it twice, in case you didn't read the first time. Yeah.
Dismember's so tough, though. It's so weird.
Yeah.
They just, like, give everyone that card,
That's a card that definitely gives a lot of colors access to something that they haven't had previously and may or may not something that they might not
probably won't
access usually and probably shouldn't have happened, I guess. Yeah. I don't know if it's, you can't really say it's a mistake, but it definitely...
No, I mean, it's cool to try things, too, and to see what happens when you print a card like that.
You kind of have this card, too, that... It's the Flame Tongue Cobra thing. It's like, I don't want to have my 5-drop 1-for-1 with this member. I'm down, they just got the channel. Pay 4 mana. Yeah. Like, I paid 4 mana, they paid 4 life. Like, that's just not what I want.
True.
But, so people are going to play Consecrated Sphinx and Titans in the future.
Yeah.
Instead of whatever... Like, maybe Kolotha Forge Master gets a little bit worse because of Dismember. By a little, probably a lot.
And what surprised me if, like, Creeping Corrosion starts creeping up in sideboards, like, no pun intended. But,
no. Pun entirely intended, obviously.
No, maybe it was, but I like to say that it wasn't, just in case it wasn't funny, which I'm pretty sure it wasn't. So then there's, like, it's not my fault. But no, it seems like there's enough Tempered Steels and, like, like the Pure Steel Paladin decks. Like, you just kill all their equipment.
Yeah, I mean, they might have like 5 cards in hand, but they have nothing on board.
Yeah, you get a lot of tempo back by doing something like that. So, and if there's like the Forge Master decks, like they play that guy. If they don't have a boots, like you just wipe them out.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong effect, and Wizards definitely learned from last time that they should print Shatterstorm when these kind of things happen. Oh, we didn't have Shatterstorm. Oh,
Granulate, not good enough?
No,
that's strange.
Who would have thought that leaving all of their lands and their Mirror Forces in play was a problem?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and their Mirror Forces pick up their Arcbound Ravager counters. Oh, or their Blink Bolt Nexus does, because it's also a land. Yeah. So many things went wrong. So many things went wrong that time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Affinity was a sick deck, and obviously Tempered Steel is capable of some sick draws too, but it's like if you don't draw the Crusade effects, you're sitting around with a bunch of like Mem Knights and Signal Pests and stuff, and then you look like a Kuldotha red deck, basically. But
it's kind of like you have the... Well, that's how Affinity kind of feels now compared to the current decks. Like, if you don't have the Arcbound Ravager, like in Legacy especially, like you don't have the Ravager or the Cradle Plating or the Master of Theorem or whatever creatures they play now.
Yeah,
like
but they have like Tezzeret too. They have a decent amount of things, and Merfolk has a bunch of Lords.
Yeah.
They're drawing like all curse catchers, it's like
yeah, if Affinity has like all Signal Pests and Frogmites and Ornithopters, you're just kind of like, okay, I'll play a Kurdev.
Yeah.
Kurdev's bigger than everything.
Yeah.
Like that was the problem with it in Extended, right? Like back when it was like Zoo in that format, you like Affinity,
and then like, kill your Ravager, kill your Plating or whatever.
Yeah, like Pride Major Plating, okay, kill your Ravager. My 2/3 is bigger than your 2/2. Like. They play Kurdev on one, and you're like, I don't get to put a Frogmite into play till turn 2. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't have any drawbacks on their guys. They don't have to play all of their cards to do this, and they're just better. Yeah. Then Tarmogoyf happened. It's like, oh, Mirror Enforcer, they get a better one? Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember thinking, like, all right, I have this counterbalance deck. I really like this thing. It's probably real bad against Affinity. And then you just play a Tarmogoyf, and they just can't attack you.
No, they can't.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's like 5/6 mid.
I played Affinity against like I think I want to say like 2 years ago I was playing Affinity at an event. I was playing against like Death and Taxes, and I'm just like, they have a Jogan Grunt. What do I do?
Yeah.
It's got a Sword of Fire and Ice. Oh no! It doesn't even get protection for my guys. It's just bigger.
We're supposed to be playing like Isamarus and stuff, but no.
They put like a Flicker Wisp into play, and then they put a sword on it, and it's better than everything I can do. Mother of Runes isn't supposed to be good against me. Why is this happening?
Yeah. Magic keeps changing.
It does.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I'm old, and I get to see it all.
Oh, well, you're not even that old. Be real.
How old are you?
21.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, that's... Okay. I mean, I understand that.
I might look younger than you.
That's probably true. No, Speaking of Mother Runes, by the way, what do you think of that card right now in Legacy?
It seems good. All the decks that I want to play Mother of Runes, like, it seems good with Bob or Stoneforge Mystic or both. If I'm playing those, I want to play like Bitter Blossom to pick up some equipments, and then I want to play like Probe and Cabal Therapy, but I still want to play like Misstep and Brainstorm. And now my deck is like 100 cards.
The same deck that you're always playing. You just cut all the Mother
so
Runes. It's like, I want to play all these cards with the Mother Runes, but we should also play these cards and these cards and these cards. Now let's cut the Mother Runes.
Yep. But it seems pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a whole lot of insane one-drops in those decks. You know, that's why like Chrome Box is super good in like the Bob Mystic decks. But if you go like Mom into Bob, like that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely a good one. So I'm assuming you're writing an article next week about at least this format, mostly or somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote a lot about Splinter Twin last week, so it seems kind of bad to write about my deck this week. Maybe one of my friends will top 8 with it or something, give it a little validity or something. But I think my main deck was really good. I think Shrine of Piercing Vision is a very underrated card.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But looking forward, Jerry's articles on the premium side of the site can now be accessed. The Star City Games mobile update recently has
premium now.
It has premium now as opposed to just select articles. That also has life totals and all sorts of other great gadgets. It's really a good utility app, and it definitely gives a lot of access to things that more than just the website. Definitely more than just the website.
Yeah, it's so nice being able to not have to like automatically resize when you go to Star City and stuff.
Oh yeah. The tiny text is the worst. Like you open up an article and you're like, can I get a magnifying glass for my screen? That's it's definitely nice to be able to read it. One of the other things that's on it is card pricing, just real time, just easy lookup as opposed to the current lookup's kind of awkward to maneuver on a phone, but it's just simple, automatically looks up the one that you're probably looking for, which English, average editions. Again, life totals during a match. They actually allow the app here for the events. Other electronic devices off, but your phone for that's fine because it's a good way to keep track. Also has randomization, dice and everything.
That's fun too. You go out, do a little like credit card game or something. I roll for some stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever you like doing in your spare time's up to you. Okay. Yeah.
Very versatile app.
Yes,
it is.
Getting yes, and that's for the iPhone, and I've heard rumors of somewhere down the line. Droid, but that's yet to happen. So in a couple of minutes, we're going to switch to the Edgar Flores match. He's playing versus, I believe it's John Sukenik, right?
Yep.
And that's a
Watchwolf 92 on Magic Online.
He's Watchwolf 92.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. See, I really like it when I know a guy from Magic Online and I know the dude in real life, and I'm like, oh, they're the same person.
Oh,
it's
really?
like, you just bring that
they
together.
Don't just like have a second person on Moto that does everything for them?
Well, no. I mean, it's just like, I know that guy's good and I know that kid's good, and it's like, it makes sense that they're the same person.
Yeah. So that's a Callblade mirror.
Yep.
Yeah. I believe if Edgar's on gravitational shift or anything.
I'm not sure. I think just from knowing Edgar that shift is not a card that he would play.
He's probably more along the hero plan.
Yeah, most likely. He was never a big fan of a Mirror Angel, I don't think. So
yeah,
that's just my guess.
Well, yeah, John's on the gravitational shift plan, so that'll be interesting to see how that card works in the mirror, whether he's better suited to deal with it or
he kept him in post board.
Really?
Last time he played. So he played against Tony Chu, who showed him Blade Splicer and Squadron Hawk.
Okay.
So I guess maybe he wasn't sure if he had Hero Blade Hole in his deck or anything.
I think if they have Blade Splicer, you assume they do.
Yeah.
Well, if Hero's definitely the best creature for that kind of deck, just by far.
Yeah, I think so too.
If you're gonna do that, you're gonna have Hero.
Yep. But Tony didn't. He just had more counter spells, more wraths, more removal.
Yeah. Interesting.
But
no heroes though.
No heroes. No, 3 Blade Splicer, 4 Squadron Hawk.
Interesting. It's really interesting.
But it ended up being pretty good for him both games.
So it looks like we're going to game 3 over here. Let's see. John is on the play this game. Won game 1, Edgar won game 2. Looks like Edgar's doing a bit of re-sideboarding. I don't know, maybe he didn't know the
So this weekend he wasn't prepared for the Callblade Mirror?
I don't know.
What you're saying?
Yeah. Didn't have the full months and months of testing. They also have a 3-minute time extension on this match, so
probably from switching tables and getting resituated and whatnot.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be ironic if after the bannings, the first open immediately after won by Callblade. But that's a few rounds down the way. We got 10 and then top 8 and then semifinals and finals tomorrow.
Like I said, the deck was like 3rd on my list to play, which seems pretty high, but I mean I love the deck almost as much as Edgar does, I'm sure. So I just don't feel like it's powerful enough. I'd much rather just be trying to kill them with Valakut or Splinter Twin.
It seems like a lot of the other options you can play are a bit more powerful.
Yeah.
And by bit, I mean a lot more linearly powerful, but it's definitely, it's the same thing Callblade always was. It's this interactive deck where you just sort of play up your curve and then start attacking them with a dog.
Definitely rewards tight play and patience and all those types of things.
Yeah, same things we've been seeing for the past 6 months almost now.
Yeah.
This is only 5, but it feels like longer.
It does feel like a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
So do you think the gravitational shifts help here, or do you think they're bad?
It depends on what Edgar's list is. I mean, if he does have the heroes, then shift seems super good against that plan. And it seems like if he ever gets a stick in a Mirroring Angel, it's really tough for the blue-white decks to beat that too.
Right.
And Edgar is an aggressive man. He's going to have Dismember, but I don't think he's going to have Day of Judgment for the mirrors. He's probably just going to try and kill his opponents.
He was the first person to really just completely cut Day of Judgment, right? I think, or one of the first. I remember looking at his list without Day of Judgment, or Gideon's it was, and just wondering what was going on.
He was the first one to cut Gideon.
Yeah.
That was his innovation, and it was genius, I think.
I don't know. I didn't really like it up until the point where Batterskull wasn't in it. So Edgar leads on a Preordain after John leads off of a Celestial Colonnade.
Maybe why Edgar's playing this deck is because he already had all the foils.
Oh yeah, that's He probably had to get like heroes.
Just tried to play a second land. All right. That's interesting.
Yeah. Land go, land preordain, land go. Okay.
Preordain is good.
Yeah.
Explore.
Yeah.
So Squadron Hawk, what do you think? Best card in the mirror match?
I don't know anymore. I don't know. I think hero might be a better trump, but if you can beat the hero.
Well, it's tough because everyone's back up to like 4 mana leaks now, and just members. And
True.
John has a couple Into the Royals, some Oblivion Rings.
That's fair. Oh yeah, Oblivion Ring's back. We have a comment from Glenn, Exploradane.
Exploradane? Yeah, okay.
It's cool. Yeah, 1 blue. Obviously better than Explorer. Like instead of drawing a card, you get the Scry 2 first.
Yeah.
Appropriate. Edgar also has a Squadron Hawk. And back to the standard amount of shuffling we're used to.
Yep.
John draws a Glacial Fortress. It looks like he has 2 Into the Royals in hand. Plays an island, crashes in with his Hawk, and Hawk's trade. Just has another Hawk, and passes the turn after finding 1 more Hawk. Edgar calmly waits for the cut.
Patience.
Not a virtue. Draws. Foils make everything so hard.
Yeah,
to
I was about to say, it's like already kind of difficult to see their hand, but
yeah,
when they're all shiny.
Yeah. Edgar plays his own Squadron Hawk. Starts searching.
Is Triple C Chrome Coast pretty much the dream?
Yeah, he could have had a Colin on one. That would be better. Oh no, he
But he
preordained.
preordained, so.
Oh yeah. Edgar preordaining on one. I wonder what he needed. Squadron Hawk?
Maybe.
Well, Edgar Squadron Hawk finds the 3rd one, I believe, if I'm counting correctly. John cracks in for 1. Hawk's trade again. And I think the last 2 Hawks are going to make an appearance, maybe? Nope, just the 3rd one with 2 mana up.
$10 draft number 15. We are ready to get underway.
It's like a Spell Pierce in Jonathan's hand.
Once again, that's $10 draft number 15. Pulling up to the main stage, we'll get underway.
Edgar plays his own Hawk before playing a land. And John lets it resolve. And that's the 4th Hawk in hand for each of them. And looks like Edgar's going to play a Colonnade. Nope, he's got a basic island. Passes the turn back.
Looked like a Colonnade.
He has 1 in hand.
Okay.
He pulled it from behind him. And Hawks trade off again. Hawk comes down again. And
Can we just agree?
Yeah.
We both play a Squadron Hawk. Can we just agree to like
trade 2 mana and a
Hawks?
card for Each player pays 2 mana for the next 4 turns and exiles all Squadron Hawks from their back.
Yeah.
Oh, graveyards that for a little that it matters. Is he gonna change up the pace here? Nope.
No, of course not.
The actual mirror. Edgar plays Tectonic Edge to Sukenik's Celestial Colonnade and passes.
Looks like he wants to Pierce Gideon and be able to pay for Pierce.
Yeah.
So.
That's true. John looks like he drew a Sword of Feast and Famine, which could make things interesting, and decides not to trade the Squadron Hawks now.
Now that he's got Sword.
Yeah. Edgar draws, looks like another Celestial Colonnade. And plays it and passes back. John plays a Kicked Into the Royal on Edgar's Squadron Hawks, signaling that he's going to make a move.
Could mean a lot of things. Could mean that he has Sword. Could mean that he has second Into the Royal. Could mean that he has not a lot of gas. Just wants to cycle.
And Edgar uses his Negate on that.
That's a card we haven't seen in a while.
No, it really has not. Even through the whole World of Cowboy, just kind of didn't really show up that much.
Yeah.
Of course, Jace was never the important card in the mirror. It's always Stoneforge Mystic. But,
Yep.
So the board is paired at Squadron Hawks for both players.
And
Edgar
6
has
lands for each.
6 lands. John has 2 Colonnades to Edgar's Colonnade and Tectonic Edge.
Jonathan actually doesn't have Tech Edge in his deck.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not that good right now, to be fair. Unless that, like, you're planning as Valakut, that's not really that great of a plan.
No, it's not. You want to kill them before that, for sure.
Kill them before it, prevent them from getting it active with Titan. John drops his sword down.
Edgar perhaps regretting his decision to negate.
Yep. And it looks like John's gonna pass the turn? Yes. Edgar draws a basic island. Plays it. Plays Jace Balerin. Resolves. He goes to 2 counters. He draws a card. Looks like another Tectonic Edge, maybe?
Yeah.
And passes back with, I think, Spell Pierce in hand, but it's hard to tell.
I do remember him having a Spell Pierce.
John has a Spell Pierce, and Edgar also does.
I think he just drew his own Jace.
Yep. The actual mirror.
Man, I was actually kind of excited. I wanted to see how the game would play out with Jonathan with his sword and like trying to fight off Jace Bellerin and stuff, but
No.
I guess that'll do it too.
Edgar is hitting more land drops, so it should get interesting.
Yeah. Jonathan kind of bottlenecked right now.
Yeah. I think John's debating whether he wants to try and kill the Jace before he plays his own, so he can use it to draw some real cards.
But I think
Can't
he
can't
realizes that he's kind of behind at this point. So
If that Jace stays around, yeah.
Edgar realizing that Jace is important, is gonna use Leak and Pierce to counter it.
Did he tap? Oh, there we go. I thought he had tapped all his colored mana to do that.
That would have been awkward.
That would have been real awkward. And Jace gets Mana Leak and Spell Pierced. Down to 1 counter. Edgar draws a card. I think this is about the point where Edgar starts leaving up Celestial Colonnade to hold off that sword.
Yeah.
Yep. Edgar has 8 lands in play to John's 6, and 2 of Edgar's lands are Tectonic Edges, so... Double Tectonic Edges, 2 Colonnades.
Yeah, Edgar is a very aggressive
aggro.
man.
Very aggro.
Sees his opponent miss a land drop or 2.
I guess he doesn't have any counter spells for Gideon anymore, so he should probably shut him off, but...
Yeah, that's also true, but...
I feel like he was... I guess he's not really doing anything, but his opponent's probably not doing anything for a while if they just sit there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what happened in their other games, but...
Edgar has
Jonathan has an Admonition Angel in his deck. And
Ooh.
actually, I think in his hand right now.
Oh,
So
that would be spicy.
maybe he was playing around that one as well. Who knows?
Edgar dismembers a Squadron Hawks in response to an equip, but John has a Inkmoth Nexus to follow up the destruction of his Colonnades. Edgar puts Jace back to 3 counters. Each player draws. His Squadron Hawk and Jace on 3 and 6 lands, including a Colonnade, are staring down John's 5 lands, including a Nexus, and Sword of Feast and Famine. Edgar has the 3rd Tectonic Edge, which probably just going to crack right now. After getting in for 1.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. If he was playing around Admonition Angel, then he would probably want to use it right there, but...
Yeah. Maybe he's doing it on upkeep or something? I don't know.
That could be a possibility, but he's probably just going to wait until Jonathan commits mana to equip his sword, you know.
It's like John has a Scalding Tarn, an Island, as his last 2 draws, 1 off Jace, 1 off the turn.
So he's back in it, and he found his lands that he needed.
Yeah.
But he was a little behind already, and now there's a Jace still in play. Kind of a tough spot for him.
Could be worse. It looks like an Oblivion Ring that might take down that Jace. Yeah, it's going to be an attempt to Oblivion Ring down Jace Balerion, I think. Let's pass the turn. Edgar casts Into the Royal with Kicker on end step on Oblivion Ring. Presumably just wants to keep his mana up for next turn and is pretty much done with Jace by now. Far enough ahead on cards that he just wants to start committing to the board at most, or at the least.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like John doesn't get to do much with his turn.
Yeah. If he has to replay the Oblivion Ring, it's a pretty good time walk, draw 2.
And he drew another negate.
And a Dismember were his draw steps. And a land, but...
So it looks like he's in a pretty commanding position right now.
Yeah. Edgar's ahead on mana, ahead on cards, ahead on counters, ahead on everything. Pretty much.
I know. Jonathan's been like very cautious and conservative, and trying to play around mana leak and everything. But now it kind of seems like if he gets the chance to play Admonition, he probably just has to go for it.
Yeah. End of round 8. Active player finish your turn. You have 5 additional turns to finish your match.
They have a 3-minute extension, so it's not 100% the end, but...
That was time?
They have a 3-minute extension.
Right, okay.
But, it's a Callblade Mirror going to time again.
Yeah, well, Callblade Mirror with no Mystic, the games are going to take long.
Yeah. No one's just randomly out of the game by, like, turn 4.
Yep.
John starts speeding up, plays Oblivion Ring. Edgar lets it resolve. Presumably because he's just trying to go in for the kill here.
Sure.
Probably wants to protect his Colonnade with that negate.
He does have enough to do that now.
Seems
and
reasonable.
Dismember.
The man is aggressive.
That looks like a bash for 5.
It's not that bad.
It's not. Looks like John's hand is an Into the Royal. Doesn't really do much against that Celestial Colonnade. And John goes for it. Admission Angel.
Well, he's got the Spell Pierce back up.
Right.
So it seems like he put Edgar on having another mana leak at some point during this game.
Right.
And stuck with it.
And just resolves. Edgar rips
Edgar
it Oblivion.
drew
Yeah.
some Oblivion Ring, so
Yeah. Everyday usuals. John does have the Into the World though.
Yep.
So this could get interesting. John untaps, draws a Gideon Jura. 8 life for John to Edgar's 16. Probably debating what the right line is here between Gideon and Into the Royal being kicked. He does have a Scalding card in hand, so if he gets rid of that Oblivion Ring, he might just be able to go off a little bit.
So, Magic players, good evening. We hope you've had as much fun today as we've had.
Looks like he's just going for Gideon.
Let's just remind you real quick, we are coming back tomorrow morning bright and early for the Legacy Open.
Looks like Gideon going up to 8, I think, and a land.
My good friend, Mrs. Callie Anderson, who will be more than happy to take you for your edge. She's up here at the second stage.
Edgar draws Into the
with
Royal.
her lion and her pet giraffe, Shaky.
Good couple of draw steps.
And the 3 of them will be more than happy to get you for your edge for tomorrow's Legacy Open. Entry fee is $30. We will need your name and your DCI number.
Debates whether to kick it or not, I think.
More than happy to take care of it.
Yeah, if he kicks it, he can play a land, animate Colonnade, and still kick it.
don't think he wants to really
Okay.
do that.
Looks like their time is up, and this is Edgar's turn 0.
Yes.
So.
Into the Royal, no kicker on Gideon, it looks like.
Nope. Jonathan puts it in his graveyard on accident.
Would be.
Be a good card. Good blue card.
Very fair blue card.
Like most of the other ones.
Edgar looks like he's setting up to negate Gideon on the way back down, but don't know if that's going to turn out so well for him.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Like, means probably can't attack with Colonnade.
I think he's going to. And it looks like Colonnade getting in there with 2 mana up. And this
John's
looks like an Into the Royal to try and get back this Admonition Angel, which I think that's going to resolve because of that Spell Pierce.
Attention Magic players, $10 draft number
This
16.
this might mean that Edgar's is dead.
16, please report to the side events area. Also, Judge Tom to the side events area, please.
Gonna block down Colonnade, hit him with Sword after playing Gideon. It's not looked the best.
Yeah.
Especially because John has 3 turns of attack, not just 2. John might actually win this one, and actually,
Yeah, it's certainly possible. These games are like pretty back and forth.
yeah.
But like next turn, Edgar will probably re-Oblivion Ring the Angel, and then he still has like a Hawk to block for a turn. Oh, but he has a Dismember too?
Oh yes, he does.
Oh, wow.
Forgot about that.
Okay, well then.
That changes a lot. Colonnade lives. Edgar goes to 12. John's probably just gonna play his Gideon.
Buy a turn. He'll running Gideons to get the draw, maybe.
No, he's killing that Squadron Hawk. Maybe he's hoping Edgar goes for the kill and he can kill back with a Gideon swing. Looks like Edgar, is that a...
Day of Judgment.
Yeah. Okay. We're talking about Edgar maybe not having that card, but I guess he has that. Colonnade up.
Seems like it probably has to kill Gideon, but...
Yeah. This is turn 2 right now.
Yeah, so he only gets 1 more attack. So maybe he's trying to... Like, he'll probably end up drawing the game anyway, so maybe he just tries to attack him and then draw...
Well, the thing is
even
that Equip plus Animate Colonnade on the swing back's lethal. I think that's what John's hoping he misses.
Okay. Yeah, so he has to kill that Gideon.
Yeah.
If he has nothing else, I'm not sure what else is in his hand.
He attacks
Ooh.
John. It's some aggro beats.
Oh, he still has that
Oh,
over,
yeah.
that's why. Yeah.
That's true.
We're fools.
Yes. Into the World does not put it into the graveyard. I think everyone's made that mistake at some point in this match except for Edgar.
Hiya! For John. He drew a Preordain.
Edgar just needs 1 more land to make 2 Colonnades attack, which should be lethal. That looks like 2 bricks. So, going to turn 4 here.
Could Jonathan not hit him with a Sorted Colonnade there?
He did not.
And Edgar gets it on his last possible turn.
Yeah. He did not attack with a Sword of Colonnade there for some reason. Just missed it. Worried about not dying.
And he did get the last attack too, so
Yeah.
it could have possibly been relevant. I don't know what he could have drawn like to get through a colonnade. But.
Yeah. Edgar drew the land on the last turn, so the sword hit wouldn't have made him discard it anyways. But
Yeah.
his last card was a land, but I don't think he'd missed a land drop that game, so it could have been. Okay, so good having you here, Jerry.
Yep.
Thanks for being on.
I can't let the professionals do their job.
Welcome back. We're here at the Star City Games Open in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm Ari Lax. I'm here with Gavin Verhey right over here. And I'm not Jerry T. No,
if only.
Yeah, if only. So we just saw 2 matches that round. There was a Callblade Mirror that just ended in turns, as usual. Edgar Flores, the Callblade champion playing the deck, wins over John Sukenik. In a very tight, very back and forth game. On the other end of the spectrum, we had Kyle Davinsky versus Nate Pease in the Temper Steel versus Pure Steel Paladin matchup, where every single game was completely lopsided and completely unwinnable for one side.
Sounds like some good magic. Well, so here we are. Stoneford Mystic to band, Jason's been banned. Yeah, just had a Callblade Mirror match.
Yes.
Callblade Mirror. What are we supposed to do about that?
Accept it. It's a fun deck now. It's fair. It's all the fair parts of Callblade. It's none of the like Stoneforge on 2, Spell Piercer thing on 3, put sword in, Jace, hit you, untap my lands, go.
Yeah. And that's how I feel too. I feel like this is what Callblade should have been all along. Like a fine deck.
Yeah, it's kind of like aggro control deck,
where
you tap out on your turn to do stuff.
The evolution of Kago, really.
Yes.
This is more of a natural evolution of Kago.
Right. So we're about to get round 9 of 10 started here.
Yeah. So this round, one more round, and then the quarterfinals.
Yes.
You excited?
Mm-hmm.
So coming down the home stretch, what do you expect to see at the top tables?
Well, my prediction before today for top 8 was, I said there'd be 2 Tempered Steels, a Valakut, a blue control deck, some kind of rug pod deck, a normal blue-red twin, 2 normal blue-red twin decks, and then I had like a spot reserved for something random. I think it's like Rend Architect, but I think mono red actually was like the last spot, but I definitely expect to see 2 Splinter Twin base decks, 2 Temper Steel decks probably in the top 8, or at least a Temper Steel deck barely outside of top 8.
Yeah.
I know 2 of the people I know from Ann Arbor are playing Temper Steel and doing very well with it.
Yeah, we saw Kyle Dabinsky, right?
Yeah, there's someone else playing his same 75 who, as of before last round, was X1. So
Wow. Well, here we go. The feature matches are rolling in.
Table 4, Scott Page and Kyle Davinsky.